Good morning, Heidi Foy here with the NFR Hangover and Bullfrog Creatives. Hey, we are coming at you. Look, I've already forgotten what round we're on, and it shouldn't. It's too early in the week to forget that. We're coming at you with round 2 wrap up, round 3 predictions, and man, we've already got some changes in the Pro Fantasy leaderboard. We've got some changes in every event. Man, it's already been a really exciting week, and I know that I feel like I'm very late to the game. Everybody has been telling me how great it is, this Pro Fantasy Rodeo, and how much funner it is to watch the rodeo with a team. I'm on the bus now. Thank you for not leaving me behind for too long, 19 years. So before we go into the show today, I want to do just a little bit of housekeeping. You guys, we are live streaming on 3 platforms today and every day. NFR Hangover has a new Facebook page, so if you are watching on any other page, please check that out. We also are streaming on the original platform, Bullfrog Creatives, as well as Bullfrog Creatives' YouTube page. So if you have some people that want to watch that aren't on Facebook, no problem. Send them over to YouTube. And I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but I'm going to throw it out there just in case. So the 3 of us have lovingly given of our time for the last 3 years. But if you are interested and you like what you see, there is this little thing on Facebook called Stars. Only one platform that we are streaming on has that availability, and that is the Bullfrog Creatives page. So if you like what you see, send a star, and it can be as low as 99 cents, which we will gladly split 3 ways. But I'm just giving you guys an opportunity. And if you really like what you see and you want to jump on in a partnership or sponsorship in some way, then get a hold of any of the 3 of us, and we would love to, we would love to talk about that opportunity. So enough about that. I want to give a shout out to Cinch Jeans and Shirts because, man, they are busy this week in Vegas, but they are also busy in the 3 of our lives. They are proud sponsors at every level of rodeo and proud sponsors of Bullfrog Creatives, as well as the NFR Hangover. So we definitely want to keep them top of mind. We all proudly wear Cinch clothes and really appreciate their affiliation with rodeo and this platform. So without further ado, let's get right to it. All right, somebody gave us a sad face. I hate to see the sad face on Facebook. That's no good. So again, one more time, I do have one more partnership because these are so important for us. I want to give a shout out to CeeLo Cinches. They have amazing handmade products that I guarantee that you can still get some product back in time for Christmas. So reach out to CeeLo Cinches, look them up. There's spelling right there, so you can find them on Facebook. Reach out to Sky Ogilvie. She does a wonderful job. Yeah. All right. So listen, we have a story for you this morning. I was happily sitting at home drinking my coffee out of a fantastic Christmas cup, and I sit down at 10 after 8. I was on time. For those of you that know me, you might not believe that.
She was.
I was. And all of a sudden, my internet is wonky, the wind is blowing, and you wouldn't believe it. The wind never blows in Casper, Wyoming. And it tells me that my internet's not fast enough. And I'm looking at my watch. My kids are still in their pajamas. There's cinnamon rolls in the oven. I did not bake them. They came right out of the handy little roll. And I'm like, all right, let's go. We got to go to town. So that's my morning. I rolled in and my kids were setting stuff up and I got sat down. We're at my office. I have no idea what they're doing.
They're probably making deals right now. They're selling real estate. They're going to
so.
6
Maybe
deals.
They can do better at it than me right now.
In an hour, they'll be like, Mom, we got a handle. We're good. So
we got this. We got your first ranch listing.
Oh, perfect. Well, good morning, Heidi. It sounds like you've had an extremely exciting morning already. I know I'm sitting here and getting all geared up and I get a text and like, hey, guys, I run to town. We're going to get going. So, and I just sent Jim Boy the link. He'll be on, I'm sure, whenever he turns his computer on this morning. So.
Well, listen, he was having technology issues yesterday. He's like, I'm going to get my computer fixed.
He's been getting his computer fixed for 3 years now for us. So I'm not sure what his IT guy is, but I think we need to help him get a new one.
What were we talking about yesterday with Drew? It's like it sneaks up on us every year.
Yeah, it's like the finals ends, after round 10, we have a wrap-up show on Sunday, and then we got 355 days to get ready for it. And all of a sudden, the day before it starts, hey, oh, wow, we got this deal. And we talk about it. We've been talking about this for a year, making plans. But it's amazing how real life and, the real jobs that we have, we do this as a passion and a love. But the real life jobs get in the way. And all of a sudden, oh, hey, it's December, it's rodeo time. And here we are. But talking about pro fantasy, thank you, Kai Hamilton. He won more last night than my whole team's won to put together. Yeah. And for our league, I am now, I think, where am I at? I'm 11th. I moved up a lot.
Dude, and here's the deal. My brother, my dad, I've got tons of family in our league, which is great. I love it. And again, I've been late to the show as usual. So it brings so much excitement to the performances for me on my couch.
Oh,
I can't imagine the people that are at the Thomas and Mack that have teams.
Well, even last night we're sitting there and Kai makes that ride and that bull just didn't fit that pin. I mean, but I'm sitting there and they're like 72 or 77. I thought they said 82 at first. I was just excited. I'm on my phone.
I was like, yeah.
And then like 77, and I'm like, oh, well then. Guys are getting bucked off. I'm just like, hey, we're going to get something here. And then Stetson goes and makes an outstanding ride for 88 points. But you want to know the coolest thing? I know we're jumping ahead. We're talking bull riding in the beginning. Stetson wins a round. Kai wins second. They split it. Stetson wins last night $49,660 in the bull riding. Kai wins 43. But the coolest thing was Stetson's interview at the end. And he goes, hey, I'm so excited to go hang out with Kai tonight. Kai is his best friend. Kai Hamilton travels with Stetson and Ryder Wright. And I think he's the unofficial Wright brother is what I've heard. Yeah. And he rides with them and they're tight. So just to see the joy in his face, not that he just won 49,000. He placed in the bronc riding too. He is the youngest cowboy as of last night. He goes over $2 million mark. Stetson Wright is now the youngest cowboy to reach the $2 million mark in his career that fast. He's excited because his best friend just won 40-some thousand, and they're going to go celebrate. And that's that camaraderie that rodeo brings. And to see that on your reigning all-around champion, he is the pinnacle. He is the benchmark right now of rodeo for all-around in rough stock. And he is more happy that his best friend just won 40-some thousand. That was exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between rodeo and virtually anything else. I mean, I know that there's some camaraderie in other sports, but it just feels different in rodeo.
Well, I mean, in rodeo, and I watched it last night after the rodeo. You know what? We moved to Texas. I love everything about Texas, but part of me still got the West Coast in me, and I am a Golden State Warriors fan. I'm a Steph Curry fan. In basketball, I don't get into the political side of any. I watch each of these sports because I love the sports. Yeah. And you watch this game with Golden State, and they were playing, I forget who they were playing last night, of the Chicago Bulls, and it's back and forth. And these guys at the end, they're dapping each other up, high-fiving and hugging. But in rodeo, you see a guy out there and smoke a run. In the steer wrestling, Hunter Cure last night makes an outstanding run. Then he's right back in the box helping the next guy to beat him, because rodeo is you can beat on the animal you're drawing. You do the best you can, and where the chips fall, they fall. That's how you get paid for what you do on your animal. Yeah, you're competing against the other 14 guys or girls entered that at the finals, but at the end of the day, it's you versus that animal or you versus the clock, and that's all that matters. So that's that camaraderie that rodeo has that is very, very different than all the other sports. Good morning, Aspen. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, for sure. So we started talking about the Pro Fantasy League a little bit. Let's introduce announce, I suppose, our round 2 Pro Fantasy League winner goes to Team Tilted Brim and Sean Wilkinson. So again, and I'm surprised. I was kind of razzing him a little bit last night via text. and it was radio silence. So I'm guessing that he's probably got an auction or something coming up and he's super busy. But it's coming because I totally expected him. Whoops, wrong button. Sorry. Totally expected him to talk some smack.
And he was radio silent after
yeah, it. I feel like now it's coming with a vengeance. So I've started it.
Oh, yeah, and that's one thing about that pro fantasy deal is even if you're not in a league with somebody, but if you got a buddy, you can go in and you can type in your zip code. This is what we used to do at home. You can type in the zip code, and it'll bring up all the teams in your zip code.
Oh my gosh!
And then you go in there and say, "Hey, I know this guy." And then you start talking smack, or it's fun. It just adds another layer for the spectators to be involved and be invested. I mean, Casey Jones and his crew, what they started 19 years ago has exploded. And I noticed there's a few other fantasy rodeo games popping up, but the original pro fantasy rodeo is a way to go because look at the prizes they're giving out. When Casey was on, he talked to us Wednesday. Like he said, if they have 10 teams, if they have 1,000 teams, they got to guarantee these prizes. So when they started this thing out, it was a leap and a prayer. It was stepping out there because it's new. Who's going to play? And look how far technology's come in 19 years.
So let's talk about that a little bit more. When they first started, what did the payouts look like compared to now?
It was very similar. I believe the first year they had, I think it paid 20 or 25,000, but it was a cash prize.
Okay. So, even if it's 10,000.
I just want to win. I want to win 10th in a round.
Casey and his wife put a lot on the line for this. To guarantee that kind of payout with really no guarantee that it was going to take off. Of course, we're 19 years in, so they have a little bit more idea of what it's going to look like every year. But man, talk about a leap of faith.
A leap of faith, and just like, okay, hey, we're putting it all on the line with one roll of the dice, because if it hits, it's great. It doesn't have to hit big first, but you've got to see some traction, some progress. You can't really bust. You can't be staring at 11 or 12, hit a face card and bust right off the get go. But they've built something, and now they're partnered with Teton Ridge. They're partnered with so many great sponsors in the Western industry. And I mean, they're getting a truck and a gooseneck stock trailer.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research if I want to win that thing.
I mean, my poor daughter turns 16 in June, and this is her shot to getting a truck and trailer of her own because I'm not going to buy one. And if she gets it, if we win it, she's not getting it anyways. I don't tell her that. But yeah. Right. But no, I think, and us creating that, our league, it's just fun because, and we were even think about us just from a league perspective where we don't have any skin in the game besides creating the league. It's $20 to give the buckle. We got to get 20 teams, and we're sitting there. Okay, we got 3, we got 5, we got 7.
Yeah.
And then we keep promoting it. Now we have 21 teams in our league, and that's to where we can give, we're going to give some go-round prizes ourselves, go-round swag. And it just adds a layer to the rodeo world for the fans that has never been there before. And like Casey said, you get people that have never been in the arena competing, but now they feel they got some adrenaline. When I guarantee you, when Stetson Wright got on that bull last night, everybody that had him on their team they felt like they were pulling that rope around their hands. So
yeah. I will say that I clearly have some marketing to do in my zip code because there's 5 pages of teams, and I think I'm in our league. So
yeah.
I'll be marketing. I'll be doing that marketing a little earlier next year.
Well, we'll kind of be ahead of the game. So
yeah,
but hey,
last minute.
What about the bareback riding last night? I mean, the semi, they call them the semi-eliminators. I mean, that's like somebody saying I'm semi-arrested. No, that was pretty rank last night.
Yeah. So
who won the go-around of the NFR Hangover last night? Let me see. I think it was it says, well, I know who it is, and he was texting me last night. Oh, you were second, CJ. You were second.
It was close. It was real close. In fact, I'll pull it up and we can.
I can tell you right now. All right. So Tilted Brim had 138,740, and Cujo's Cowboys were 98,945. Right there.
So second was Smith's Built with 130. Let's just talk about that. So Tilted Brim was, well, not way down, but I think I was ahead of Tilted Brim. So that
for the year. Oh yeah. So the overall right now is Smithville. Yeah, Guy Smith. And then Tilted Brim, yeah, they jumped up 162,000. But it's like I went from 18th to 11th. But the majority of that was because of a Sol Ross cowboy. Yes, CJ Aragon. Yes, your former student pulled my team out last night, and I am so happy. Oh, but I want to talk about the bareback riding. And what about poor Leightonberry? Round number 1, he's 7.2.5. I mean, survives a ride. I mean, the lowest score out of the 15. And then but what a difference 24 hours makes. He comes back 86.5 to put 29,000 plus in his pocket. And, his finals didn't start off great, but look now if in one ride, he's kind of got traction, got some mojo back. But when it comes to the average, let me go find it here. I got so many screens open here. It's world number 1 leader, Jess Pope, is winning the average right now. He's 172. Hey! Jim Boy's here!
Oh, you better mute your other show. There we go. This has been a rough morning, Jim Boy.
Oh.
It's too early I was planning my what I was going to do highway patrolman if I got pulled over for speeding.
Maybe he'd be a fan of the show.
I know.
See? So
you didn't send me the link. I know you don't like me and all, but golly, just because I made the comment of what NFR stands for now.
Tony sent the link and then sent it again, and then I sent it again. So I don't know where Tony sent it. I'm blaming it on Tony.
I am broad enough shouldered. I will admit I probably screwed it up twice. But remember, Heidi, this is your circus. We're your monkeys. And one day you said you can't be here and you're going to let the monkeys run the show. So we got to work that out because, wow, there's no telling what Jim Boy and I might go live from Hooters or something for the NFR Hangover show.
Listen, there's no directives for this show. So you can PG 12-ish. PG 12-ish.
Hey, that might be where we go live from next year in Vegas.
We did get a partnership, in fact.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, Jim Boy, what did you think of the bareback riding last night? The semi-eliminators.
Well, they bucked.
They bucked. Yeah.
I gotta get my notes. I gotta get my notes open here. I think full baggage might need to go back to the regular eliminator pin.
Yeah, I'm not sure how full baggage went to the semi. That's a semi.
Well, that horse, I've been thinking for a while. I'm like, not really. But then last night, me and Jayton's like, that's the hardest I've seen him buck in 2 years. I mean, not that we see him every time, of course.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, when you do see him, yeah.
But he bucked. Did y'all talk about the opening already?
We did not.
No.
We talked about Pro Fantasy Rodeo. We announced the winner of round 2.
Yeah, how about the three of us? Our teams are like all down there.
Oh no, yeah. I'm 11th. I'm almost cracking the top 10 of our league of 21.
I am holding out for
baby steps.
Average.
Hey, but about the opening, I didn't see it. All I know is they cut to Taylor Sheridan in the booth with Jeff and Butch, and then Jim Way texts me that they're hand cranking the stage that those guys are on. Hand cranking. It's 2022. It's Thomas and Mack. Let's update it.
I don't know if they really are, but I have 2 bell buggy wagons here, and the one they must have borrowed that winch off of that one because
it doesn't operate very good.
Yeah, but I wondered what they was doing when I'm like, golly, they're taking forever, and the announcers started talking about sponsorships and
payouts, and I was like, man, this is boring.
Support our sponsors, and they just left it a dark house, and then I'm like, something's going on, and then was that when they started talking to Taylor?
Yeah, they went to Taylor. It was funny. They're talking to Taylor and talking about the rig and rallies, and about the Steiners and Rocker. I mean, they're just incorporating how Taylor's been this shot in the arm for the Western industry, and yada, yada, yada. He won his journalism award. And then all of a sudden okay, now we're going to go. And then they went back to the arena. It's just like,
well,
okay,
the first night, like they got it just above the buck and shoots and it hovered there for quite a while. I'm like, they're having issues. So maybe they didn't get the machines oiled up good enough. I'd say tonight they need to leave it in the rafters, or maybe they need to practice. And I'm sure they did yesterday. I would think so.
But you know what, Heidi, how many times at CNFR did we run through openings, disappear, say get Piper running late openings? No, they find the Cowboys extra next time.
Yeah, they should.
Well, what's funny is CJ, we were texting last night, and he goes, hey, have you noticed how many people have their hands on the rails over the front? How many? I've never seen so many people on the back of the buck and shoot to the NFR. I mean, it looks like a slack. And we were talking, with Sean Davis gone, Boyd not there. We're not sure. I'm not sure who the.
Yeah,
CJ sent me a link to or a picture of it. He was given given something to the gentleman they honored for the service last night, but. Then CJ goes, oh, Tony B should do it. I said, the only way Tony B does it if a whole SEAL Team 7 crew from the CNFR goes. Me, CJ, I mean, I'm going with my whole crew that, we were, the arena's ours because, we made sure nobody was where they should be. But I noticed it the first time. There's a wall of people in the rust stock area or behind the buck and shoot.
So you started talking about this. When you do we practice the openings for the CNFR at least 3 to 4 times the day of the opening. Well, and inevitably something's going to go wrong. Like I would miss a spot call, or I would say it a little bit different than I did in rehearsal. So my spot guys are like, wait, what? But inevitably something will not go the way it should go, but typically the only people that know that is us.
Yeah, it's like that duck on a pond. They're floating there. You never see them paddling. You just see them floating. But last night, and it's pretty. There's just little glitches in it. They work itself out. And I guess the casual fan, the average fan, probably doesn't know us. The three of us, CJ, who've all been on the production side, it's a little stuff that we pay attention to just because we're OCD like that, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, that opening, they'll get it tightened up or lined out in the next 8 nights, and if not, they'll get it figured out for next year. But I'm just glad nobody got bucked off in the grand entry, again. So,
one of the flag girls dang near fell off.
Yeah. My daughter pointed that out. I think we rewound it and watched it a couple times, and.
Whoa.
If it was me, I would want to be the ones that are facing the rope and shoots, because those horses don't. They know it's coming, but the kind of ones in the middle, those horses look the most calm. The ones on the sides, you can just tell they're just like, let me go. I'm ready to bolt out of there. And I know it's really important. Those contestants deserve the honor, but man, they need to just walk them in on foot and let them wave or something like we do for, little kid rodeo, because they're going to smoke somebody one day at the grand entry.
Give them a stick horse.
Yes.
Have you seen the comments? I've been seeing quite a few comments of that people would rather watch the breakaway roping than a concert.
Yeah, I saw that last night. Actually, Abby Hampton, somebody else put it on there. Abby shared it. Would you rather see an opening or the 15 breakaway ropers? And me being the smart like I am, I said I'd rather see mutton busting. And then I put just kidding, because I did not want to get blown up. I really do love breakaway roping, and I've got 2 daughters that rope. But I thought it'd be funny. I said mutton busting, and then I immediately said just kidding, breakaway roping. Joke. It was a joke. Just kidding. But I think breakaway roping is going to eventually get there. It needs to be there, and I think they're seeing now with the little hiccups with even they could still have their concerts or shows and add. I know that Las Vegas events, it's in their contract to get them back into the buildings, or back into the casinos fast. But man, started it instead of 5:45, started at 5:30. But then again, I'm not in the room that makes all those decisions. I'm sitting in my dining room in Stephenville, Texas. So.
Huh.
So.
And that's from a bull rider. That's a man that straps himself to 2,200-pound animals with one hand. And he's from Australia, where everything that bites or wants to kill you lives down there. It's like 11 of the 12 deadliest snakes in the world are from Australia. And the scariest part of the rodeo or anything for him is the grand entry at the NFR. That tells you a lot right there.
Listen, my son is convinced that he wants to ride bulls. I'm still working on it. But I told him, and so he started riding horses, and he says, I don't want to do it. I'm like, well, do you not want to do it because it's hard? Like, his legs aren't long enough to get anything done, so it's hard. Or do you not want to do it? He's like, it's hard. I'm like, well, sorry, you're going to do it for at least a year. And he's like, why? And I said, because you're going to learn how to ride a horse before you learn how to ride a bull, because you are not falling off when you make your championship lap around the arena.
You're not falling off on a victory lap. I refuse to let that happen. Oh.
And of course he's like, huh? Like, just trust me on this.
Believe me, child.
Just trust me.
Oh man. All right. So bareback riding last night. Jess Pope.
I got to interrupt you again.
Oh, how about it?
Weird. I know. I got a picture on the NFR Hangover page. Did you see this? It was in a message. The boys that were doing the analytics for the pre-show yesterday that we were razzing and giving such a hard time about, get mics at work, get cowboy hats. Well, guess what? They have cowboy hats now.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Somebody said, well, not somebody.
Oh, you're not going to put it up?
I thought he was
going to put their picture up, maybe.
By the way, that's a big note from Grandma on the grandson riding bulls. I see that there, Heidi. So yeah.
Yeah, I walked in the door last night and Jayden says, "Oh, look at this! We got to show something." And he rewinds it. I'm like, "Awesome!
Somebody's listening.
Somebody's paying attention. Maybe they are watching us, Heidi."
I was saying, maybe we have struck a nerve, or something. Oh my goodness! Oh.
Now I got to find that picture.
Well, so what about Jess Pope? Comes in number one, places in the first two rounds, the second and the fourth, winning the average. He's actually tied with Tilden Hooper. Tim O'Connell's there. He's winning third. Cole Franks, Ty Brewer. What I noticed last night, too, and like my pro fantasy team, and it's tying into the rodeo, I've got Bigelow on my team. He's made two good rides. He just hasn't had enough horse to win any money. It's kind of happened in all my events. The rough stock Wyatt Casper again made another good ride. We won 1,200 last night, so I'll take that. But like I said, you have Leighton Berry wins a round last night, 86.5. Jim Boy, what's out tonight? Have you heard? Is this the eliminator pin?
Yeah, it's the eliminator pins, and I haven't been able to look up the re-rides. My horse, Pretty Woman, must be buried in the re-rides. I can't say it's my horse. I don't own her anymore, but
technically,
the horse that I raised that Pete Carr bought from High-Low last year is in the re-ride pin, apparently. But yeah, it's the eliminators.
So it's the one where you stick your hand in, get bound in there, mark him out, and then pray for the 8 seconds to go by fast, and you're still on.
Yes, and some guys like them, some guys hate them.
I have a question. How do they pick re-rides? Is it just who's left after the draw?
I think some contractors can maybe request that they only go once. I think when they turn them in and they put which side, left or right delivery and front, middle, back, whatever, I think they can kind of maybe request that they hold them for the second round. And I could be wrong, but
till the back half of the finals or whatever.
Yeah, that they just go once. Maybe they think they're better just once. Some guys think they might be.
Whoop.
And Jim Boy he gone.
That was good information.
And all right.
So
all right. Well,
maybe you can answer these questions, because I know that our audience is kind of about half and half as far as knowledge. So, okay. Hi, welcome back. Carry on.
I'm guessing the guy outside my house hand cranking my internet fell asleep or something.
So when they all the horses get voted on, right, to go to the NFR?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The contractors nominate them, and you can only nominate so many. So you got to be careful how you do it. And like I was talking to one contractor out there the other day, and he has a bull that's kind of known as Eliminator. He's hard to ride, but you don't think he's just terrible. And a lot of the guys don't like him, and he has a hard time deciding where to take him. And so he took him to an event, and I think Josh Frost drew him, and Josh rode him, and I guess Josh kind of questioned whether he should go or not because of his stock stats and whatnot. And the rumor was that if you do ride him, you're not going to score enough. And so I guess Josh did go get on him and won some good money. It was a lot of points. And so then when they nominated bulls, he didn't nominate this particular bull. And Josh was like, "Why didn't you nominate him?" He goes, "Well, I didn't think anybody else was going to take him. You're the only one that can ride him." So. So, there's a lot of there's a lot of politics that goes into, what they nominate for their animals and how they get there. And but I don't know. I'm not sure how many you can nominate, but you have to kind of be strategic in what you nominate.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the part. I'm not even 100% familiar with how it works. So I think that's the part that's super interesting is, there's just as rigorous of a selection process for the stock as there is for the cowboys to qualify.
Yeah. And then the cowboys all get together and discuss it 3 or 4 times, I think, as to what they're going to take.
I want to know who nominated the steer wrestling pins the first 2 nights because they are salty. Semi-eliminators both nights. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen them split the gates like that. And they got some beef to them, and they'll handle fast if you throw them right. But if you're a tick off the bear, you're throwing them down there by buck and shoot number 5.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into the steer wrestling, let's take a hot second. We're right at about the halfway mark, so let's take a hot second and meet one of our partners. So we are grateful for Williams Studio. These guys are set up again this year in Vegas at Resorts World. They are at the Makers Market. There's a lot of shopping to get done while you're in Vegas, so make sure you swing by that Resorts World and stop in not just the Cowboy Christmas, but also the Makers Market. All of these are truly authentic Western. This artist, full transparency, is my uncle, but was a saddle bronc rider in college in the PRCA. And if you have ever been to the Calgary Stampede, many of his pieces are actually the awards given to the contestants that win their event. I know at any given time he's had 8 bronzes selected, 8+ bronzes selected to be given out as the contestant awards for winning their events. So if you're looking for something truly Western, truly authentic, swing by the Makers Market at Resorts World. And we are back. Ha! Okay.
We're back.
Steer wrestling. Listen,
right.
I also feel like they were the steer wrestlers were a little bit more on the line last night than they were that first night. I think a lot of them were late in round 1, which was fair because I feel like all of them were. So it worked out.
Those steers just split the gate in round 1. I think they were doing it last night. These guys, they were on go last night. But I mean, you come in, look at, you got Stetson Jorgensen winning the world. He wins second last night, third the first night. He's placed in 2 rounds. Kyle Irwin's placed in 2 rounds, and Tristan Martin have placed in both rounds, But last night it was the veteran of the group, Hunter Cure, 3-7, smokes a run. He has got a pinched nerve, or he's got something going on in his back where, I mean, it's hard for him to get around, herniated disc or something. He's 3-7, winning 29,000 plus. Kind of makes that pain numb for a little bit longer than after Justice Sports Medicine gets you numbed up. But he made a great run last night. Ty Erickson's, he placed in the first round, but in the average right now, in both events of bareback and the steer wrestling, your world number 1 leaders are your average leaders. I mean, yeah, we've got 8 rounds left, but they've placed in both rounds. They're winning the average. It seems like they've just carried that momentum that they took from the regular season right into the finals so far.
Here, we've got a pretty good question here. Do they weigh the steers so they are about the same?
I'm not going to say they weigh them. They don't weigh them.
They're in the limitations of the weight limits, you know.
Yeah.
So there are weight limits.
There's weight limits, and for those that don't know, in the timed events, they have three pins of animals. They run first round, second round, third rounds, 3 different pins, and then they come back. Round 4 is from round 1, and the steers that they run in round 1 and calves will be the ones that run in 10 also. So 3, you run 1, 4, 7, and 10, and then the other ones get run 3 times. But each pin of steers or calves they may not be the same as weight as or the same uniform as the other rounds, but they're uniform for that pin of steers. So
what is this is probably a real specific question. What's the weight bracket? Like, what do they have to weigh? 450
to 700.
But you're not going to. Most contractors, I mean, we've all been to some rodeos where there's one that weighs 450 in there and one that weighs at 700. You think he should be in the bull riding herd, but the pin of steers at the NFR, they're gonna if they got a pin that weighs 500, all 15 of them are going to be within 10 pounds. So the stock contractors, they do a good job putting these herds together for these guys. It's just like I say, we've all been around it. The 3 of us, we've all from goat tie-in to breakaway to team roping to steer wrestling, tie-down roping. No matter how even you put a herd together for anything, there's always something that doesn't fit no matter what, no matter how even they were when they get to the rodeo.
Yeah.
There was a steer that first night that I don't remember who ran him, but they gathered him up pretty quick. But you could tell he's a little fuller than some of the others, so he didn't handle as quick, you know. And so I'm guessing out there, I don't know if each one of them pins are in a pin together and they just get fed whatever they decide they're going to feed them. I'm going to guess they probably don't say, well, that one's kind of full, we're going to hold him off water tonight. And I doubt they really go into that.
No, I think it's just survival of the fittest, whichever steer hooks the other ones off and eats the most.
So let's talk about that. That's funny. So Jim Boy, it's completely different and similar, I think, but this is what we talked about at the collegiate level with the goats at the CNFR. You know, if you have one that's a little lighter, then you'll, block him off, pour some feed to him, just like you talked about. They don't do that. You don't think they do that at this level?
No, I don't think they do it with the bulldog cattle there.
I mean, it's probably a little easier too to see, like, oh, this goat's a little lighter. Oh, this goat's a little heavier.
Well, they just have so much going on. There's so many animals, and there's only so big of a crew.
Right.
You know, like I've said before on here, like the rough stock, once they get unloaded and they get their back tag on, they go down the alley of their pen, and you might be able to go down there and take pictures, but you're out of there. You're not allowed to be back again. Like,
oh, that's right.
The stock contractor, the owner doesn't see him again until they flank him that night.
So they
run up to pretty much to run them.
Like, they're not even feeding their own stock. There's like a feed crew that does it, right?
Yep, an NFR feed crew.
I do know, I saw on Facebook that Pro Earth Animal, is that what it is? They're
Zestera.
Yeah, Zestera. So all the bucking stock is getting Zestera while they're in Vegas, which probably isn't a bad idea. I mean, it's got to be just as stressful on those animals as it is.
Yeah.
I have
a question, Tony. I don't know if you can say. There's been some people ask, why is Luke not commentating the steer wrestling?
The answer how much can I say? I can't say a lot because I don't know. All I know is Luke now works for Teton Ridge, or he signed a deal with Teton Ridge, and it was a conflict of interest, and so the Cowboy Channel didn't hire him. I don't know the logistics of it. Love Joe Beaver. He's great at what he does, but I've had a lot of people, my phone gets blown up every night. Why is Luke not commentating? Why is Luke not commentating? And I don't know the answer. I just know that now has his own YouTube show, the Luke Branquinho show. I think we're going to have him on Tuesday with us. And he's doing a pre-show with Teton Ridge. So that's kind of where he's at. He is missed on the commentary because, I mean, it's like Joe's been there in the tie-down roping. Joe's been there in the team roping. He's got firsthand knowledge, and he knows – it's not that he doesn't know about steer wrestling, but it's fun to have the knowledge from somebody back in there and has got 5 gold buckles that can kind of tell you, yeah, this steer, this is why this steer did that, this, and you know, and but to be honest, I just he's working for another company right now, and so that's why he's not on it.
Well, he is missed for sure.
Okay.
But I hope he watches this, but doesn't, you know, if he finds out that I said he yes, CJ, he has hazed. That's true. Joe has hazed. Oh, and he's mentioned it a few times on the telecast.
A few.
Hey, so we were talking about how Jess Pope and Stetson Jorgensen are, you know, regular season leaders are leading the average right now. Same thing in the team roping. Caleb Driggers, Gina Negata, they won a third and split a third and a fourth. They're 9-2 on 2. They're winning the average. It's like they just took that momentum from all year long and rolled it right into the team roping. And then you got Andrew Ward and Buddy Hawkins, who set the NFR average record last year. They've got 2 down. They're winning second in the average. Cody Snow, Wesley Thorpe's third. Tanner Thompson and Patrick Smith are fourth, and they've got a leg on one. Coleman Proctor, Logan Medlin are fifth with the leg. And the Miners are sixth with the leg. And then after that, there are 6 teams after 2 rounds that have 2 down in the team roping. We have got, yeah, there are 9 teams with no times right now. Winning a check in the average right now is Clay Smith and Jake Long on 1.
I was going to say they only have 1.
Yeah, but they pay 8 in the average, and so 7th and 8th right now are on 1. A lot of rodeo left. That arena is not conducive to team roping, but I don't know. Junior and Caleb, they were last night. They were 4-4, and I can't think that fast team roping to be 4-4. I mean, it was smooth, in control, nothing out of control, and it was pretty cool to watch. But you got the example of the regular season leaders, the ones that have had a phenomenal year, and they just keep moving forward with it. So pretty cool to watch.
So does the score pretty much stay the same from year to year, or do they make adjustments?
I think they made an adjustment a few years ago, but I mean, I think it's pretty much the same. They can't score them out too far down there because we've seen them steer wrestling the calf roping. If you go right behind your nod, or you know, if you nod, pause and go, you're late. So I mean, it's like gates bang. You got to go. And talking to Luke in the past, it's you got to anticipate. You can't think, I've got to see him step. You got to anticipate him moving and be going with him to steer wrestling. And because like I say, that arena is so short. I remember one of the I don't know if it was one of the Knowles, Trevor or
Blake,
but one of them crawled off and, you know, horse went left, steer went right, and they hit the bucking shooting round one time because they missed the barrier, you know. And
so that I think that also takes a lot of trust in the stock contractor, because you also have to trust that steer, calf, or whatever is also going to start. Because if you're not even seeing a move and you have to go to be out, that's hard.
They've run them steers. Like Tyler Pearson had one set of steers at his place. So they've run them. They know which one. They're not going to, you know, like there was the one that Timmy had the first night that stopped. And that might just happen. You know, that's going to happen. But
that's just being in that
building. Run them steers. They've all been run enough that they're going to try to pick the ones that
they're going to go
are as close as possible together. You know.
Well, yeah, there for a few years, Luke. I mean, it was really cool because we'd have 7, 8, 9, 10 of the Bulldoggers show up 2 weeks before the finals. They'd spend Thanksgiving out there in California with us, and they'd have all 3 pins of steers come from wherever, and they'd go through them. I mean, they'd figure out what they wanted, and then they come pick them up, take them to the final. So, and And then everything gets run there at the finals too. Like at the team rope when they put runs on them. I think the steers, they just throw them out of the chutes. But yeah, so they have an idea of what they're going to do for sure.
Good.
All right, saddle bronc riding. Jim Boy, Lefty Holman wins around 87 last night. Sage Newman strikes again, split 6th. Zeke Thurston split 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. What's tonight's pin look like, and what did you think about the saddle bronc last night?
Oh, it was good watching. Now,
what pin was that?
Better. I think he still has, I think he's still not as comfortable. He just didn't draw as good, but to use one. But I'm kind of going down through here. Who was it? Was it Leighton Green that sure enough got on a bucker? He's one that about ate his saddle. He bumped his chin off his channel.
I believe it was. Yeah. He.
Did we hear anything about that? That looked rough.
Oh, he's all right.
He's all right. Yeah, no, but yeah, that one right there. Yeah, they said, oh yeah, his nose hit his swells, and I'm thinking, now that. Yes, Butch, that does look like it had hurt. Hello, Mr. Murray. How are you today, sir?
The thing that jumped out to me in the saddle bronc riding was, don't say anything. The right boys are mic'd up.
You know what? When they said the mic boys, it comes on the screen. Right boys mic'd up. I'm thinking that's not like having an NFL linebacker mic'd up. I mean, like I say, the only time you hear them is when they're cheering for Kai or one of the other ones, and then I think they turn the mics off.
I mean, if you want to mic somebody up, get Wade Sundell or Rocker or something.
Yeah, they need to mic up Rocker Steiner and Sid Steiner. That's
putting
that was funny.
Any cowboy.
Is it mic'd up? Stetson and Ryder Wright. I'm thinking, don't be quiet because there's going to be a lot of dead air time right now. Oh.
Who's Brody have tonight?
Trump card. I don't know whose horse that is for sure. The draw I'm looking at doesn't have the contractors.
Yeah, they quit doing that, putting the contractors down on. I noticed that in the day sheets.
Well, if you look. Well, I should have printed off the other deal. I'll get that done when I get back to the office. I picked a team yesterday according to the draw. I did a daily team, and I got Leighton Berry right. Nailed that one. And then the bronc riding, I can't remember who I went with. And then the bull riding, I had Josh Frost, and he almost got that road. But
that bull, it was almost Josh's ride last night. It almost looked like that bull. It didn't slip and go down, but Josh looked like he had him tapped off, and then the bull's hind end just kind of slipped, didn't go down, but slipped away and just kind of threw Josh off kilter. But it was Lefty Holman with
leaving there, but
it was Lefty Holman with the win last night in the saddle bronc riding. So, and I know, boy, we are clicking through the time, so we probably should click onto the tie down roping. And Caleb Schmidt goes back to back. He has closed the gap on Shad. Now, Shad placed last night, but Caleb Schmidt is only 19,000 behind. That is it in the for the world title right now behind Shad Mayfield. But the other thing last night that I noticed in the tie down roping was Tough Cooper, who got a no time for jerking one down in the first round. I mean, blitzes one. I mean, hands in the air, puts a wrap in a hooey, and he gets up. He's fist pumping, and then all of a sudden you see go that close. And a calf had to kick up at 5.5 seconds. But, wow, it's just like, ugh. But, yeah, Caleb, he's won 2 rounds. He's been 7-5, 7-2. He's got 1.5 second lead over Hunter Heron in the average. Now, mind you, we 8 rounds left. The lock can happen. Shad's down there in 7th place. So if it ended right now and you take the average money, Caleb Smith's your world champion. So that average can play such a huge part to who gets the gold buckle at the end of the week. And right now, Shad still has the lead, but Caleb, it's like it may be the house that Joe built in the tie-down rope. I mean, initially and in the tie-down roping, Trevor set up residency for a long time. For the all-around right now, Stetson Rice has got a wing on it. But in the tie-down roping, Caleb Schmidt's pretty comfortable backing into Thomas and Mack and just making run after run. What they say, he's made 70-some runs on pockets, that horse there. And that horse just looks – I mean, it's like 19,000 people can go crazy. And he's like, all right, here we go. Let's run it again. But Caleb Schmidt just looks solid. He's like, okay, I'm going to go do my job and rope the calves that they give us.
Yeah. How about some barrel racing?
Oh, barrel racing. Hello. Haley Kinsel.
Barrels.
What's that?
They had the eliminator barrels out.
The eliminator pin in the barrels. I was like, Jim Boy, I think you need to get back to Vegas. I think they need you in the lane. Chongo. I'm going to put that out there for Emily. She wants you back there.
I will say this. I texted Tom last night, and that might not be Tom's favorite horse at times, but he looks more reliable. She might have hit a barrel last night, but I think it could be like Haley now. It might be game on.
Right. Well, and it was just kind of he just looked. It wasn't like he ducked in, or it just kind of happened. It wasn't like he was trying to come back over. He was running hard, and to me, the ground looked a little slicker last night.
I seen one hind leg on a horse shot out pretty good.
Yeah, the ground had a little glossier sheen on the television screen, and the horses just looked like they couldn't get into it. So they're kind of, as they were coming around, they were coming over the top of it because it was giving away. It kind of looked like to me, but
I almost it seemed like every single girl was coming super close to that first barrel, but I also feel like it's the angle of the camera. Right.
The way we're getting to look at it.
Like maybe we're just a little bit on one side or the other, because all of them looked super close. But no, Chongo just came around hard coming back around that first barrel.
Yeah, and the ground slaker gives away. It just kind of put him over the top of it. And then
I don't claim to be any kind of a barrel horse expert. I tell everybody she's the only barrel racer I've ever really coached, because I just stayed out of her way. But I really do think that horse is turning how he's turning, and I'm not going to go into depth how but I think he's turning them a little bit different. It did look last night. I thought he looked more reliable the first night. He's not fighting his head coming out at third, and I know it looks like she has a little different headgear on him, but
she's also not banding her arms down.
She might be.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what's crazy. They get that barrel. She doesn't just whip him home. He runs, but she doesn't ask him for it. She is a
5.
She's a 57. She's 1857 with the 5. She's a 1357 without push him home. I mean, so he's my pick again tonight. I'm just riding with it.
With her and Haley both having barrels down.
Yes.
Look out. Well, and like Haley said last night watching her interview, the only round sister has not won at the finals was round 2. So now that monkey's off her back. So she's got 3 gold buckles. She's got a go-round buckle from every round. She got average buckles. I mean, let's just keep clicking off $30,000 go-round checks and see how it climbs in the average. Because looking at the average right now, you've got Wenda's first, Jordan is second. Jordan was a 1392 and didn't get a check last night. But you go down, you start getting hit barrels at Emily at 10th. She's at sitting 9th. She's got a down barrel, but she's at 32.39. She's only 4 seconds out of being in 4th, and we've seen it before. Those horses, as the rounds go on and progress, we get deeper in the week, those horses get tighter and tighter, and more barrels go down. So Emily, Haley, these girls that have down barrels, they may not win the average, but they're going to work their way up to get a decent check. But I think Jordan and Rollo are just going to be hard to reel in for a world title too. Now let's talk about the bull riding, and that was scary last night. And I don't know. I've just got kind of what I read just on Pro Rodeo Sports News or Pro Rodeo page. But last night, Reed Offendall he took a bad hit. Thoughts and prayers to him and his family. All I know is he was in ICU with head and neck injuries is what I read this morning. My initial thought when he hit the bull, when he got bucked off, ran down, hit the bull, knocked him out. But I also worried how he landed, because he landed kind of on the top back of his head, his neck, and kind of folded up. And I think that was a lot of the concern, because you see the bullfighters right there. They were just, one of the bullfighters were there, holding him on the ground till Justice Sports Medicine got there. So hopefully, he's going to be out for the rest of the finals. We know that. Hopefully it's not a major injury and that he's back in action sooner than later. But like I say, my thoughts and prayers, I know you guys are too, and the whole rodeo world communities with Reed, because, lifelong dream, makes his first NFR, and then to have an injury like that in round number 2. But like I say, and this is all speculation. I'm just going off of what I read, that he was,
somebody sent me this. He's an ICU trauma center at UMC. He has a small brain bleed and a fractured C7, but able to move everything he should.
Okay. Well, that's
good news.
You only in rodeo do you say he's got a small brain bleed, a fractured C7, but that's good news, because he's got movement in all his extremities. And that's, because that's the nature of the game we play in rodeo. And it doesn't, bull riding is the most dangerous, and bareback riding, but anytime you're talking animals, these animals that we get on, these horses, these, you're putting livestock and you think we're in control. We're up there weighing between 110 pounds to 250. The animals are really in control. We're just along for the ride in all our events. So thoughts and prayers with Reed and his family, and hope for a quick recovery, and he gets back to doing what he loves to do, riding bulls. So, but then let's talk about the round. 2 guys ride. Stetson Wright, 88 points. And then you've got my man, my pro fantasy guy, Kai Hamilton, saved my team, put me in the top 11 for NFR Hangover League. They split the round. Like I said, $49,600+ is what Stetson put in his pocket. I think Kai put 43 in. Not a bad little night right there for a 77-point ride for Kai. And, man, Stetson, like I said, JB Mooney said it in the pro fantasy, fan book, talking about who he thinks is going to win the world. Stetson, anything you run underneath him, he's riding. I don't care if it's saddle bronc horse, bareback horse. Man, they have mutton busting. He'll win $100,000 this year if they let him enter the mutton busting. That's just he's just that rank. Last night, boy, that bull rope got jerked out of his hand, but it was right after the whistle. And otherwise, Kai's walking out with close to 90,000, and my pro fantasy team doing real good at that point. So. And last night, was that the semi-eliminators and the bulls too? Because
Donnie was talking like that was the sure enough eliminators.
That's hey, Donnie Gay, the quote of the night for the rodeo. Them bullfighters look like 3 little ninjas. The way he said it with his voice, and I couldn't type fast enough to get on Facebook. The quote of the night: 3 little ninjas.
He looked like what?
3 little ninjas.
Oh, the bullfighters.
Yeah, and I tell you what. They're doing a hell of a job.
When Reed hit and Donnie says "kersplat."
I am so glad they got Donnie Gay back to commentate the bull ride. And I know it was a couple years ago they didn't have him, and he is missed because his nuances and his take on it is amazing. And but I tell you what, the guys that are doing outstanding are those 3 bullfighters. Cody Webster is your bullfighter of the year, the PRCA. It's great to see. Dusty Tuckness, we had, Wyoming native, had him there at the college finals when he kind of, got really rolling. Loved having him there. Those guys are doing outstanding. They're like, say, when Reed hit, those guys were in there and made sure that he,
Webster took a couple hits last night too.
Oh yeah, and he just smiles and he's like, another day at the office.
Like it's nothing.
Yeah, and his wife. I was watching an article or interview she did. They're talking, so how do you feel, when he's in there? She goes, I video it. And I asked him one time, does it bother you that when you're getting hooked, that the camera doesn't move and doesn't flinch? She goes, kind of bothers me that you're not worried about me. But, bull riding, like I say, Stetson's winning the average. He's got 2 covered. He's the only one that's got 2 covered at this point. So I think, He's going to have a $500,000 plus, maybe $600,000 plus year, because he's already over, I think, $400,000 for the year now. I believe. I'm going to go look at that. Give me 1 second here.
So
Survey
when you
says.
look at that, the one thing that moved me. I really like how they're retiring back numbers. I think that's really cool to kind of honor some of the legends in the sport. I also really liked the tribute they did to what was his name? John
Cole, I believe.
Cole.
Yep.
Yeah.
That right there, and I know a lot of the professional sports in America honor the military, honor the first responders, and this, that. Nobody does it better than rodeo. And last night, it gave me chills. That man, 3 Purple Hearts. I mean, the conflicts he's been in, 95 years old, still married to his wife for 70-some years. And I mean, that right there.
I think what got me the most was that it made him emotional. Because
you could tell he was trying.
He wasn't letting anybody see it, but he kept his composure. The crowd was insane. Even I think the telecasters, they were talking about how this is the loudest it's been in the Thomas and Mack. And I mean, that's the kind of respect that generation didn't get when they came home. And it was amazing.
Well, and then that just shows right there that man, he's tougher than anybody that was in that arena now or has been for a long time. But they came home and they just went back to work. And now it's 95 years old. And can you imagine what he has seen in his life and what he has done in service for this country? And it was just, I felt honored to be an American. Yeah. I felt honored to be part of the Western heritage and community that honored him last night because that was so well deserved. And you could see the emotion in the other 2 Marines that were next to him. You know, that meant a lot to him, to his family, and it meant a lot to me as an American. So hats off to the PRCA, to the NFR Las Vegas events, because that was amazing last night.
Yeah. And there's so few of them left. I mean, even like they were talking about the one, there were 350 in his battalion and 8 of them survived.
8 of them survived. And they were coming at him from all angles. That just, wow.
Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to add that. I know I cut you off in the bull riding, but.
Oh, no, that was good. So yes, CJ just posted Stetson's over 590K this year. Is that counting? I think that's counting extreme bulls. It doesn't count for the all around, because for the all around, he's got 460,000 won at this point, because the extreme bulls money doesn't count for the all around. But I mean, he's at 590,000. He's got a chance, realistically, to win $750,000 in PRCA rodeo earnings this year.
So wait a second. The extreme bulls counts to qualify, but it doesn't
counts
for the all around?
It counts for the world title in the bull riding, but it does not count for all around points. Okay. The money he won at so any bull riding money you won at rodeos counts, but the extreme bulls money, because they're standalone events, do not count for all around points. But
why would it count for the event?
It counts for the event because all bull riders can enter it.
Okay.
But it's not, it doesn't count for all. I don't know. PRC has their own rules. I don't play by them because I'm too cheap to buy my card. They don't have
They started the extreme bulls to try to draw some of the PBR guys back to the PRCA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And to give them, more money to run at. And so, if the PRCA had an event for over 45 former 400-pound guys, the team rope where they don't have to be 4 flat, then I'd probably buy my card back. But other than that, no. And then somebody goes, get your gold card. Yeah, because the guys that were kicking my butt when I had my regular card are now the ones that have their gold card. So, hey, why don't I just write them a check and not buy my card? So, oh, man.
We are past our time, but still doing pretty good, I think. We do have a guest for tomorrow. Lindsay Sumter is going to join us. Lindsay is the commissioner for the
Women's Championship Rodeos Association.
Yeah, okay, good job. Yeah. Hey. But so she also is a college coach at Otero College, so she's going to join us. We're going to have some virtual leg wrestling between the 2 college coaches and talk about.
Hey, Can
Go for it.
John C. Cole wrestle for me?
Yes. You think he'll do better?
I think he could have whipped the singer that opened the rodeo last night.
So we've got a good show tomorrow. So tune in. We'll have updates on Pro Fantasy. Also, watch the Facebook page. Tony's going to be posting during the rodeo. I'm sure.
Yeah, my wife wants to know if I actually watch the rodeo or if I just on Facebook. And I'm like, both. And she goes, sure you are.
Yeah, that's how I felt last night too. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, and I'll do a little wrap up here. Again, I want to give a shout out to our partnerships, Cinch Jeans and Shirts, CeeLo Cinches, Williams Studio, and I'm going to throw out a little personal plug for our real estate company, if I can find it, Josh and Heidi Foy with Foy Real Estate, serving land and ranch now, as well as residential. So we're grateful for the partnership, the use of Coldwell Banker's podcast room, even on the weekends when I should be able to do it at home. And we will be back tomorrow for another episode of NFR Hangover. You guys have a good day, and make sure you get in there. Thank you, Charlotte. Make sure you guys get in there and get a daily team, or at least catch up and see who's winning for the NFR Hangover League. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the morning.